What's up, witches? Luna here. And if you've read the title of the video and you were around in 1979, you now have a horrible earworm in your head. And sorry, not sorry. Anyhow, I am here to tell you that Corona finally came to visit our household. I am on day 5 right now, and I wanted to just shoot a vlog over, what it was like for me, just to give you some information. This is in no way meant to diagnose, prescribe, or suggest anything to you. Any decisions you make about how you deal with it when it comes to your town are between you and your doctor. So we started, my son was the first one to get it, and he didn't really know for the first several days because he went into it with a sinus infection from allergies to begin with, and he really didn't notice the difference of something else hitting him. The 2 to 4 day incubation period seems to be dead on accurate for all of those around us that have gone through it. So Friday was really the first day for me. I was very tired. I slept really late in the morning and just stayed tired all day. And then by evening it was like, ooh, I feel like I'm catching something. And then next day I woke up and it's like, yeah, I definitely have something. I ran a fever that day of 99.3, and the initial symptoms for me were just this general, that heaviness that's like, oh shit, I've got something. And then the fever, started getting a stuffy nose, never really had a terrible sore throat, but as soon as I felt something Friday night, I went for the Zicam, and that's a brand name, but you can also get generics of this kind of stuff. It's zinc-based lozenges and either a nasal spray or swabs, and what the zinc does when you apply it to your mucous membranes is it puts like this barrier up that does not allow viruses to replicate. And it's, people use it for just when you're getting a regular old cold. So I started doing that every 3 hours right off the rip. I also did thyme oil, which, do I have it over here? I guess I don't. But Thymus vulgaris, you can get essential oil of just regular thyme, the kitchen herb. First of all, I drink thyme tea every day, 2 teaspoons in 2 cups of water. And it just is good because I have autoimmune things. I have viruses that I carry with me lifelong, and it just really helps to keep those things, at a minimum. But what I did was pour some boiling water into a cup, and then, some drops of thyme oil, and then inhale the fumes. I learned right off the bat, as soon as when you put the first drops in, don't stick your nose real close because it's like somebody shooting a gun up your nose straight to the back of your head. It's got that kind of, menthol-y vibe going on. So you want to go approach it slowly, but make sure that you inhale. And then I took it in through my mouth as well. And I did this whenever I would feel my nose start stuffing up. So like Saturday night and Sunday night, I started stuffing up. I'd do the thyme oil and it would go away for the rest of the night. My experience with this has been absolutely minimal. It's not even as bad as a mild cold for me, but I think it's because of all the things that I do and then did afterwards. My family also was using these and noticing that there's an improvement. And we get hit with so much fear when we hear it's COVID. First of all, I'm really grateful that we managed to avoid the first couple iterations of it, which were much more severe, and we were able to hold out until it watered itself down. It swapped transmissibility for potency, and we got the mildest version that's come out so far. Like I said, very grateful. And we are double vaxxed and boosted. I will be getting my second booster next week once I'm out of isolation, because that affords the best protection. So, you make your decisions, but that's what I know. I also know going into this, I take hydrocortisone every day because of my adrenal condition. It's a low dose, but still, any kind of cortisone, prednisone like that, it works a lot of the ways by lowering your immune response. And I have autoimmune conditions, so when my immune system gets riled up, it attacks me. And so those things can lower that immune response so you don't get hit so hard. Because I take that hydrocortisone and am therefore immunocompromised, I also take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day. I upped that to 4,000 when I started getting sick. And I also take an oregano oil capsule and a garlic oil capsule. These are just, garden variety, known to be antibacterial, antiviral. Thyme oil is both of those, and antifungal and antispasmodic as well. So, when Corona started, before it hit our area, I had a very bad respiratory virus and, bronchitis and everything. And the thyme tea that I was drinking absolutely helped me clear stuff out of my lungs. And another story about the thyme oil. I have a friend who's a doctor, and when she was in med school, she had a class that was talking about, viruses and bacteria and things like that, and remedies. And they had an array of petri dishes in which they had placed like a cold virus, a flu virus, staph, strep, all kinds of bacteria and viruses in each of these petri dishes. And then petri, I don't know which one it is. And then they treated each dish with a different form of, cleaner, like Lysol and bleach and, all of that stuff. And she said there was only one dish in which everything that was in there, all the bacteria, all the viruses, were killed. And what that dish was treated with was Listerine. The active ingredient in Listerine is thymol, which is the active ingredient in thyme oil. So I will also say, if you do the Zicam and stuff, it will make your mucous membrane sore. So if you're doing it, repeat, please follow the directions. It'll say, don't do it any more than this number of times in 24 hours. And you'll notice, if you're doing the swabs in particular, that your mucosa are getting sore. So the zinc does make them sore, but it's a valid trade-off for me. So, I take the garlic, the oregano oil. It's kept me, the masking for 2 years has also kept me from getting sick of any other kind. But I really do feel like those afforded me a head start. And then adding the vitamin C, doing the zinc and the thyme oil, I have barely felt like I'm sick. My husband certainly had it worse. It went directly for his chest. He is very vulnerable in his lungs. He's had pneumonia a number of times. And still, he did the thyme oil and the Zicam, and it's clearing out for him too. So I just wanted to pass that along to you. And to say that, as it waters itself down and is working towards becoming endemic, it's going to be like another cold virus. And I don't really know anything about whether those first variants of it, that like the first version and then the Delta, are still circulating. I really don't know. I also don't know, I may know but don't remember, whether getting, like Omicron protects you more against the first ones. Why wouldn't it? It's the same virus. It's just a variation. But still, I don't think you have to be as horribly fearful of the Omicron variant. That's not to say you shouldn't protect yourself. That's not to say you shouldn't get vaxxed and boosted. Like I said, that's our foundation, is vaccination and booster. And then, the other things that I do, and then the things that I did, the key with the zinc is doing it the second you realize you're getting sick. And I've been doing this, for 20 some years, since they first came out with the zinc therapy. Before Zicam, I can't remember what the other stuff was, but there were lozenges. And then for a hot second, they had bubble gum. That was great when my kids were little, because they wouldn't do the lozenges. But it works. So I think, and of course, contact your doctor if you get it. There's the one pill that is supposed to really lessen symptoms. I have also read that people that do that remedy have a high incidence of reinfection afterwards. So talk to your doctor. Your doctor should be your source. Talk to your doctor. Look up your county's Department of Health protocols. So my son actually tested positive on last Saturday, and he reported that case to the health department. They called him today to get tracing information, that kind of stuff. I called them because I have tested twice. I tested on Sunday and I tested again today, and both were negative. And I think it's because I just don't have enough of the viral load to trigger a positive. But I know I had it. We had the same symptoms. We got sick at the same time. There's no doubt about it. So I called the health department and they said, there's really no way to report that. If you haven't had a positive test, there's nothing we can do with that information. So that's kind of sad. I think they should have another category for, yes, I absolutely know I had it. Here's why. I can track it and trace it, and I had the symptoms and, 100% had it, but still negative test. Because the numbers are always going to be skewed, by people not reporting, by people. So, I understand why they're saying only with a positive test should you report, because people could have allergies and go, I know I had corona. So, follow your health department's protocols so that we can keep everybody as safe as possible. But the thing that I would caution you against and hope you don't have to go through is the fear and the shame. There's a lot of shame that goes with it, and people who are just, I'm not going to tell anybody we had it because, oh my God, we fucked up. No, it's coming for us all. It's out there. It's very virulent at this point, but not, which means really transmissible, but not as bad as it was in the beginning. So if you use common sense and some old folk remedies in addition to the best scientific protocols and information and advice, you should be okay. And we can get ourselves through this. They're talking now about another surge in the fall that they're expecting to hit 100 million people. If this is as bad as it is in the fall, then we get to an endemic place. Also know that there are people who are compromised to the point that even this variant that was so very mild for me could be deadly for them. So please think not only of yourselves, but think of the people around you and what they might have to deal with, if you slip up, and protect yourselves. We are still going to be wearing masks, not just because I've had it. I'm not going to be out there, hey, it's a free-for-all. I'm still going to be masking because I don't want to get sick of other kinds, You know how that is. So anyway, this was longer than I thought it was going to be, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on, and I hope everyone else stays safe and well and healthy enough to enjoy this absolutely glorious spring weather. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. This is Luna. Blessed be.